What up, world? Welcome back to Ill Reviews, man. As you see, I'm naming the playlist that was formerly called Random Thoughts. It's now going to be called Hot Takes going forward. And it's basically where I just talk about random shit that I'm thinking about, observances and things I see, you know what I'm saying, anywhere, mainly about movie and music, but I might get into a little bit of politics, you know what I'm saying. I know it's kind of taboo, but I'm really into that, so I want to share my thoughts to see what y'all think about some of these things going on. But yeah, for this episode of Hot Takes, I was listening to the What podcast. Shout out to Mouse Jones and Nyla Simone. And they were having a discussion about who's the next big three rappers that's going to carry the game. You feel me? So they started off talking about how it was, I don't know, 15 years, almost 20 years, I don't know. The big three was Jay-Z, Nas, and Biggie. And then they was like, okay. And then the next generation, the top three big rappers were J. Cole, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. So what they was trying to do is figure out who's going to be the big three that's going to drop some classic material and really be here for the next 3 or 5 years out of today's artists that came out within the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And it was a very interesting discussion. And while they was breaking it down, I was thinking to my head, I was like, okay, what made the first top three great? Jay-Z, Nas, and Biggie each had classic albums. With Jay-Z, of course, you could say Reasonable Doubt, or you could say The Blueprint. Nas, you can say Illmatic, or you could say It Was Written. Biggie, Ready to Die. Okay, the next three, Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake. Kendrick, of course, has a classic album, I feel, with Good Kid, Mad City. Drake would Take Care and Nothing Was the Same. I would even throw, if you read this too late, it might go down as a classic later on. And J. Cole, of course, with my favorite project with J. Cole is 2014 Forest Hill Drive. And so when they was discussing who was going to be the next three, they was kind of talking about popularity, but I don't think they really touched on the fact that the people they were naming don't have a classic album. They was throwing out names like DaBaby. Who else was they saying? Well, they said Little Baby, which I kind of agree with to a little bit, but they was throwing out a lot of names of artists that don't have a classic album. So this is what this hot take is about. I'm trying to figure out why new artists and even old artists are not dropping classic albums no more. They were speaking on there like nowadays music has turned to like a money grab, so classic album is not necessary. But I feel like if this is going to be the trend of hip hop, it's going to be, I think, a little bit detrimental to the game. If you're going to have everybody dropping surface material, that means anybody can come in and just take over. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it ain't about race, but if you're just going to say surface things and there's no story behind it, then any white kid can come in and say the exact same thing as Young Thug. Any Mexican kid come in and say the same thing as Lil Uzi. You feel me? If that's how the game's going, and I don't think that's a good thing to happen. And it's not just the new rappers. If you look on my Twista video, I had all these Twista fans going at me because I gave the album a low score. I gave it a low score because I base artists like him off their previous work. And my point was how you in the game and you're not dropping material that's better than your old material. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, like, as a Twista fan myself, I don't think Kamikaze should still be your best album. You know what I'm saying? Like, and listening to it, I was like a lot with a lot of music. I was like, they're not even trying to come harder than their previous work, and I think that's a problem. And so I'm wondering, and maybe y'all can help me out. Like, why is nobody trying to make a classic album? Because if this goes on, the game will turn into a singles type thing. Or it's going to stay a money grab where artists just put out 20 songs and they're going to just try to get all the money from those 20 songs. We're in the generation of the Instagram rapper. You feel me? It's a weird space for hip hop. Hip hop is the youngest generation. And I just feel like if we ain't careful, we can destroy this thing from the inside. It has to be a level of authenticity in the music. Because if it just turns to a money grab, it's going to saturate the quality. And sooner or later, it's going to turn off a lot of the listeners. And I've been talking to people and people are not listening because motherfuckers ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they need to bring back classic albums. Like, I feel like you got to go into the studio trying to top your last effort. And if you're going in the studio and you're not trying to top your last effort, you shouldn't be saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like classic example. Of course, everybody rock with DaBaby, but is they really rocking with all three of them albums though? The answer is no. You feel me? Like you you'll go away real fast. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Migos, Culture 3. Came and went. Why? Because it didn't have no heart, it had no substance. People literally, I feel like they stopped listening to it within 3 days after it came out. And that's a lot of music out here. So yeah, tell me in the comments how y'all feel about this. Do y'all care if it turns to a money grab? Or do you think a lot of artists like Saweetie don't really drop out, just drop singles? I see a lot of artists taking that approach. But yeah, I want to see what y'all think. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, check out the other hot takes on this channel. And that's what it is. I'm still not reviewing music albums like that. I'll get back to that when I feel like somebody is rapping about something enough to make me want to listen to 20 songs from them. But for now, I'll probably still review some singles. But this is where we at with it today. And I got a very special guest coming on the show though in 3 weeks. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, this has just been another episode of Ill Reviews. Treat each other right. It's a cold world. I'm just trying to heat it up. I'm out.
Prices. I talk like a hustler. They say my grind righteous. Still on my shit, real as you get. You can admit you feeling the shit. I'm feeling myself, looking for tweet. No sugar around, nothing is sweet. Trying to be calm, but ready to bomb. Hope y'all on board, cause I am beyond. Minding my line, word like a rhyme. Can't be defined, the flow is refined like crude oil from an oil rig. No moose full, I'm a tour big. I put in that work, look at the